Here we have Carderpio, symbol ADA versus the dollar, and I believe we have a breakdown somewhat in progress right here, actually. With that in mind, there's going to be bounce along the way, especially if good news comes out on Wednesday. You might see a quick move to the upside, somewhere around about $1.25, maybe even as high as about $1.30. But ultimately, I do think that would just be your next lower high before a continuation of trend to the downside. We did see our move. Here's the problem with this one is that we kind of already saw our move down, our targeted region down to $1 based off of the break of this area right here at about $1.20. So, you know, in order to kind of talk about the next move, we really have to be looking like significantly lower in this case, I guess, which is just, I always get a little bit on edge when talking about, you know, I guess in this case, like a 20% move again, after already playing out last week, from top to bottom, a 42% move. Holy shit. Either which way, here's how I can boil it down. I'd actually move up your point of failure to about 132 in this case, as long as you're above there, or sorry, as long as you're below there. Corrections, you know, sometime this week, anywhere within that range is fine. It would just likely be it would be just another lower high before preparation of lower prices. Monthly is looking atrocious, about to break the 21 actually, with only 7 days left to go. If that does happen and you do see a closure below about $1 or so, I would be looking for this one to correct heavily into February, somewhere around 70 to 75 cents. Until then, short-term timeframes, what are we looking like? If you are looking for a short-term move to the upside, we can actually just get rid of this one. This one's a little more pertinent for this time frame. That'd be 117.2. You know, above there on an hourly or especially a 4-hour closure, I would look for Cardano to go back up towards about $1.25, maybe even as high as $1.30, $1.32. But again, assuming daily closures below $1.32, I'm just looking at that as a short-term correction before more trend continuation. In this case, trend continuation is to the downside. I want to see, in order to call a major low, or at least be a lot more confident of a major low, daily BBWP in the 95 percentile or more. Right now, for reference, it is 88.5 percentile, and the last times that we've actually seen this one bottom out were actually pretty comparable, a little bit higher in the shallow 90s, but still a little bit higher. I'm talking about the August lows and the May lows of the prior year, of course, right here and right here, which were significant. Prior to that, you know, we have seen it bottom out at 100 percentile, so higher is better. And my general point here is that this one, you know, very likely does see expansion with trend continuation. Daily RSI is technically going to have a chance to build up bullish divergence, but can still come down significantly, even down to, you know, the 30s or so, and still maintain another drive of bullish divergence right there. I'm curious to see what it's looking like from a stochastic perspective. I'm curious to see what it's looking like on especially the higher term timeframes, like a monthly. Monthly is downside angled, bless you, sir, as long as it's below 250. So again, corrective at best, in my opinion, for a while. Weekly is going to shift back down with another closure below 119. To be fair, this is in really critical territory. It's kind of hard to keep momentum onto the downside when you see a read like this, but could that align with one more washout, go fuck yourself move? Potentially, yes. Daily is nosediving below 130, so 130, a really good area for changing the bias here, at least in my opinion. Buy daily is freshly down and rejecting getting out of the bearish controls, and that's fucking great. 118, 5-day is also down, very low right there, but, you know, does deserve a bit of recognition. And I'm curious to see what the lower term timeframes look like a 4-hour in this case. Yeah, 4 hours about to freshly cross down with any sort of closure below 107, and that's coming in about 49 minutes and 26 seconds. You know, forgive me if I say it's a little more likely for this one to try another move to the downside from here. But I'd still be using, what exactly was it? What would I even look at as my value? I mean, you already played out the move right there based off of our break from last week's targets. So it's like, do you look for the same move again? I guess retrace that wick. That would be fucking nasty. Either which way, not my favorite chart of the day. Hopefully that was helpful. And there you go for Cardano, sir.